and it's the start of winter. And what we're trying to do is witness the annual migration of the spider crabs. One of the greatest migrations in nature. Now these little guys are on the outskirts of the migration, and they've been moving around the bay for a couple of weeks now. They've come up from the deep ocean, about 800 meters deep, believe it or not, and they come into the bay en masse. Now, you would think that they're coming here to mate, but it's not the case. They're actually coming here to molt. Molting is when they get rid of this hard shell on the outside, and the actual animal will pull itself out of all the legs and out of this body structure, and then it'll basically grow itself a new shell once it expands. And that's really how they get bigger and bigger each season. So when they've come out of that crab shell, they're soft-bodied and they're really, really vulnerable. And that's why these crabs are building these big pyramids or towers. And if you're at the bottom, you're just a little bit safer. There really is safety in numbers. There are just so many crabs down here at the moment, all moving around on the bottom, bumping into each other, crawling over the top. They're just a marching mass. Just fantastic to see this natural phenomenon right here in Port Phillip Bay. Now, somewhere around here is Cherie, who's looking for the ultimate predator of the spider crabs. And they're starting to move around under this pier.
So I'm in quite shallow water, only kind of 2 to 3 meters, and in this depth of water, I'm able to see an ocean giant, the smooth ray, which is Australia's largest ray. It weighs a massive 350 kilos. It measures about 4 meters. Oh, here we go. We've got one here that's come in to feed. Look how big that is. And they love spider crabs, freshly molted spider crabs. They'll come in and swoop over the aggregation of spider crabs, and you'll just see them scattering. It's got these jaws that are kind of like chisels, which you use for grinding their prey. Extraordinary. They're just absolutely gorging themselves on these crabs, and why wouldn't you? It's just a smorgasbord of crustaceans, and they cannot get enough. This is nature at its best and also at its most brutal.
I love the southern coastline in winter. It's dynamic, it's windy, it's rugged, the visibility is incredible, and it slaps you around the face with just how cold it is. I'm Cherie Maris, I'm a marine scientist, and I'm on the land of the Bunurong people. Over 80% of the marine life found here on the southern shores is found nowhere else on Earth. I just feel so incredibly lucky to live here.
One of the things I love about exploring our southern shores and diving, even, a pier, a man-made structure, is that it becomes a magnet for marine life. And there's lots of animals that people don't see because they're looking for the big things or because the animals are camouflaged. And this is one example. A pot-bellied seahorse. They're really secretive animals, really difficult to find because they're not great swimmers, so they need to be really clever in terms of how they protect themselves. They you can tell this is a male because he's got this beautiful big pouch. And he's the only male in the animal kingdom to give birth to the babies. Hallelujah. This is the man of my dreams.
So when I've come across seahorses mating, they do this incredible ballet, which is so beautiful. They dance around each other, and then she gives him a heap of eggs, puts it in his big pot-belly pouch. She swims off, probably has champagne with the girls at the local rock pool. He then fertilises the eggs internally, and then he kind of sits there, and then after about 2 to 3 weeks, he goes through contractions. And then it's almost like he sneezes and they come tumbling out like musical notes of little baby sea ponies. It is extraordinary. And they have between 60 to a couple of hundred, depending on what species. The males actually use the cues from the moon and the high tides to actually synchronise their birth to increase the chance of survival of the baby sea ponies. They'll spend about 2 to 3 weeks drifting in the current, and then they'll settle down, cling onto some seaweed and spend their life feeding their face.
They say the dragons aren't real. I'm about to show you. Not only are they real, but they're underwater. Look at that. Hello, handsome. This is a weedy sea dragon, unique to the southern shores. And this is a male dragon, and I can tell, see those bright pink dots on its tail? They're actually eggs. The female will lay a strip on his tail, and the tail becomes really soft and spongy, and it becomes a cup and holds the eggs in place. You can see why people travel from all around the world to see this fairy tale-like fish. It uses its long mouth to suck up all these tiny little mice and shrimp. He's having a good feed, and he needs to. He's got lots of babies he's got to look after. Did you see that? See how quick it was? Can you beat that? I wonder if he realizes just how beautiful he is.